This is SoulShards. It's a technical demo that started off as an AI showcase. So going up the menu, we've got difficulty, which is Souls-like, average, and story. So on Souls-like, AI behave how they're supposed to. If you drop it down to average, the AI can't attack as often, it cuts out the desperation part of the boss fights. Like the bosses get desperate and start acting differently. It cuts that out. And then story mode makes it so that the AI can't dodge you or block your attacks. And it also makes it so the bosses have even less phases to the fights. Controls, so we've got controls for keyboard, which can just be changed to whatever you fancy, and it's using the enhanced, and then we have it for gamepad as well, so you can change it to your desired setup. So if we just begin, and then there's dynamic footsteps that are set up. So outdoors it sounds like this. When you go indoors later, it sounds like it's walking on stone. So you can rest up here. It's basically a respawn feature. The animations are from Mixamo for the character, but for creatures in general, I made the animations myself. I also rigged the creatures, and then the VFX. I did create a blood VFX, but then I ended up using one from a pack because it looked better. So when you kill enemies and loot them, you get trash loot from spiders. So this is cobwebs, they're worth 1 gold. And then when you get to the snakes, it's where theirs is worth 2 gold. And then enemies that are humanoid, you get to be able to loot their actual inventory. So spiders do the least damage as well. So in regards to the attacks against creatures, so you've got 2 different normal attacks. So you've got forward swing, back swing. But if you can lock onto a spider, you sword swings lower because they are on the ground. And then you have your inventory, so you can take potions out, equip the potions, then try not to go into it again. But then if I press 2, I'll heal, uses up a potion, so it's like a quick slot basically. And then once you take damage, you also change over to being able to swing on the ground. So the magic enemies, like these magic spiders, have 2 different types of attacks. So they have 1 magic attack, and then they can shoot cobwebs, which stop you from being able to move. And then more spiders, and as you can see, I pressed the wrong button, so now I have to redraw my weapon. And here we have the 3rd type of enemy, which will try and bite you at close range. But if for some reason it goes at long range, it will shoot you with magic attacks. But if you get up to close range again, it will bite. And here's the boss, which jumps at you and tries to bite you. So as long as you dodge its bite, jump, you're fine, it won't bite you. And then the second phase of the boss fight, it goes up the trees and fires webs at you. It fires webs 3 times, and as long as you dodge the webs, it's completely fine. And it will come back down. This gives you time to heal and kind of breaks up the fight basically. And then it'll jump straight back at you again, try and attack you. And then next phase, it was a case of it goes back up again. And then 3 webs. If you let it hit you, you get stuck. And then it jumps straight out of the tree rather than coming straight down. And bites you straight away. So then collapses in on itself when it dies. You can loot it. And then, as you can see, this pathway back here is now clear. So you can progress to the next area. After each boss, there is a save point, so you can come here and rest. So now you will spawn in this section if you die, rather than having to run through the whole map that you've already cleared out. And then there's a chest here to get a shield, and you can put your new potions in as well. So with the shield you take 0.6 damage, so with the snakes they're pretty easy to dodge. So if I let it bite me, that's its normal damage. If I block, I'll take less damage. And then the next snakes are the range snakes here. So as you can see, they have the range, and they try and keep to range. They can't go through the ground because of the hitboxes. Something that I can fix, but because of the way they move, it's just a bit jittery. So the way that I've got the snakes here as well, as you can see in this area, they have, this one here is the beta, so it's kind of a group of snakes with the beta that's in charge. Now the reason the beta are in charge is because like the alpha snake is the one through here. So I've got 17 fangs here. You can basically get 1 to 2 fangs per snake, but with the Snider boss you can get up to 10 fangs because it's got 5 heads. I should probably heal, I did not think that through. And then each head has a different type of magic. So this one's a dark one, which if it hits you, it will then do a second attack straight away to take advantage of the darkness. This one is light. No, sorry, that one's fireball. I couldn't remember them myself. So if I just let, and then each head can also bite you. So darkness hit and it went to bite straight away, but because I dodged underneath it, I got away with it. It also should try and run away when there we go, it ran away. That one was the lightning, so it'll try and run away when you hit it. And once it's on its lowest health, it will do attacks with all 5 heads. But at the moment it's at stage 2 where it does 2 attacks at once. And that's the ice attack, which slows my movement. So now it'll be on the final stage, so all 5 heads attack at once, which does enough damage to kill you in 1 hit if you don't dodge in time or block. So once dead you can loot the corpse, and now I'm up to 26 fangs. And then you can come through here, and you can rest up, relax, and then you can use the shop. So you can buy a different weapon, but you can also sell your items. You can choose how much you want to sell. And then let's say I wanted earrings, I can buy earrings and then a hammer. The hammer does do a little bit more damage, but it's got a shorter range. Right, so you can just equip these, and the earrings give you just a slight debuff to enemy damage. Rest up again just to make sure. Then you can go into this area, and as you can see, enemies can go through doorways. They can also use ladders. So I'll just wait for this one to come back through and show off the fact that they can chase the character basically up a ladder. He's currently trying to attack me because he thinks I'm in range, which is fair. Using his attack pattern, that's why. Right, there we go. So it comes up the stairs and will start attacking me. As you can see, the hammer does have a slight shorter range, which makes it a bit more difficult. So we killed each other at the same time. What will happen is it will spawn me at the resting place, but as you can see, it tried to spawn me this side, so I just spawned inside, which is a small bug, but it's okay. So my items, I seem to have lost my shield and it gave me a second sword. Small bug with the item respawning, but it's to be fixed, and it's not part of what this was anyway. So as you can see, the one that I killed first isn't there anymore. So when you die, doesn't respawn enemies. And then I can take his shield. So there's just a few random items that they have. So that's a mana potion, that's fruit. It just basically varies up the items that the enemies have. So then I'll just heal up before I go into the next room. Go into the next room. This one is a ranged enemy. So once it spots me, it'll try and keep at range and shoot magic at me. So quickly kill Martin. Is infantry bug. Right, it's doing an infantry bug. Every time I fix that bug, it comes back. It's just something that is to do with the way that the characters move when they die. Sometimes bugs out the infantry. So this one is the ranged one. So he'll pull out his dagger when at close range. Long range, he will shoot magic at me. So just kill him, heal up. And then I can take his dagger, and then through this room is the final boss, which is a human one. So he does his attack animation for normal attack. It stays as a ranged attack no matter what. So then he'll teleport away, heal up, and then he will teleport again. Sometimes he will not actually teleport, but then it changes to his second attack, which just completely annihilated me. Right, so this is the boss fight. I'll try and go through all the different parts. So he teleports away, heals, teleports back, does his second attack, which is a flame tornado. As you can see, it uses a different animation. And then he'll teleport away, heal again, and teleport back. And now he'll do two with a different animation. So as long as you dodge those attacks and get into him in time, you'll be able to lower him to enough. And now he'll take out his sword and still use magic, but it's just to warn you like that the combat parts going up together. So this time he does two tornadoes and then he does a normal attack. So now he's doing melee attacks until the end of the fight, and he can also roll. And then there we go, that is the final boss, which is also done the loot bug, but that's the full game. So there's two things that I've implemented which are quite difficult to show off in game, so I'm just showing them off in the engine. So here I've just got 4 spiders that follow the exact same route, but they have different, basically it's my different areas are cheaper. So the blue's cheaper than the yellow, but then I've got it set so that it randomizes. So this spider, yellow's cheaper than blue, and green is in between the three. So basically, you'll see that they don't all follow the same pattern, that they go different routes, which just kind of makes the AI look like they're not all trying to go to the same place at the same time. They split up. So it's how it's being used just to make it a little bit more varied. The second thing that can't be shown off in the game is the AI picking up items off the floor and being able to equip them. So if you watch here, it goes over to the potion, picks up the potion. This one's going to come down here and it's probably going to pick up a potion as well. It's a little bit laggy because it's running in engine, so it's not like optimized, and there's a lot of errors going because it's being simulated. So if you just give it a moment, you should come back over here and grab another item. If they grab the shield, it'll equip it straight away to his arm. So there we go, the shield's been equipped to his arm.